tell everyone good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Y'all say it with some love. I appreciate it. Talk back to me a little bit. On behalf of College of Outreach Development Society, I'm honored and deeply grateful to welcome each and every one of you to the proclamation celebration of Mr. Christopher Life Wilkes. This is a special evening where we come together to uplift the power of redemption, restoration, and community. This evening we honor a remarkable individual, Mr. Christopher Life Wilkes, a living testament to what second chances truly mean. His journey, his transformation, and his continued commitment to positive change serve as an inspiration not just to those walking in a similar path, but to all of us who believe in the power of growth and grace. April, the month of April is recognized as Second Chance Awareness Month here in the great state of Georgia. It's a time for us to reflect on the true meaning of giving others the opportunity to rewrite their story and what it looks like when we, as a community, choose to believe in that transformation. We are also honored to be joined by a powerful group of special guests, our panelists, voices from across our community who each bring a unique and necessary perspective on what second chances mean from where they stand. Thank you for lending your insight, your truth, and your heart to this conversation. And finally, a sincere thank you to Mayor of South Fulton, Mayor Kobe, which should be here shortly, for your leadership, compassion, and for recognizing the value in uplifting lives through action. Your presentation of this proclamation to Mr. Wilkes is not just a statement, it's a movement. It tells our state and our youth that their past doesn't define their future, and that redemption is not just possible, but celebrated. This day is more than a ceremony. It's a call to embrace the light in others, even when the world has looked away. It's about community, compassion, and creating positive pathways forward. Thank you for allowing us to take part in this celebration. Just a reminder, second chances don't just change lives, they save them. Welcome to the proclamation celebration of Mr. Christopher Life Wilkes. So, due to time constraints, we're going to step right into our panel discussion. I have a couple of questions I want to ask each panelist, and I want you guys to be able to hear from their perspective the reality of their second chance. So I'm going to start with Derek. What does redemption look like to you?
So I guess I'll start with understanding what it means to be rehabilitated. Because I think the Department of Corrections has set a bad connotation of that word. Because they say that in the midst of a person being in bondage, that they're giving them an opportunity to become rehabilitated. So rehabilitated, the word rehabilitated actually means to bring out cultivate potentialities, to educate a person upon who they are as an individual and their potential. And if you do not give a person an opportunity to become identified with who they are as an individual, then you have not truly rehabilitated that person. You've just incarcerated them, had him captive like an animal. And if you don't give him education, once he's released back into society, I have to prepare like I do my little pet American Blue. Once they get free, without guidance, they will run wild. And ultimately probably will bite somebody. But if you give them education and guidance and love, then they will be loving and caring as well. And they will pursue their dreams as an individual.
And I want to say one thing before we continue this panel. I want everybody that they can introduce yourself, give a short introduction before you answer your first question, so the group can get to know you a little bit better in your background. Thank you. Gary, you go.
So my name is Gary Warner. I know it don't look like it, but I did 26 and a half years in the Georgia State Penitentiary for murder and all. I've been home now almost 6 years. I'm now a journal for Panelist Incorporated on the business that is beating now, which I probably need to come here. I'm also the founder and CEO of React Corporation, which is an outreach development corporation, and we also deal with reentry. I go in and out of state prisons, motivate the guys to understand that they're not what they did. That's just an experience they've gone through in life. There's a much brighter future if only they choose it.
Okay. April.
Hi, everyone. My name is April Hall. I am the CEO and founder of Entertainment, which is a platform for those formerly incarcerated justice impacted individuals so that they can express their creativity and they can have a voice that they can be heard. I am also the executive director of the Panelist reality TV show, which focuses on women who are formerly incarcerated, who now with that stigma on their back, they're out there, they're flying our eyes, and they're bossing up and they're on their own business. So we're a group of entrepreneurs and we're giving back out there showing that, hey, regardless of what they say, we decide we make our future. You know, so that's what we do. I myself, I did 5 years, I've been out 2 years. And so, hey, I'm glad to be here, glad to see all your faces. And y'all stay tuned to the Panelist. We're coming soon to the TV.
Woo!
I have a question for you, of course. You talk about stigma. What stigma have you encountered, even after you came out and changed your life?
The biggest thing that I encountered coming out was the reentry process of that felony following me everywhere I go. Finding employment basis, the reason why I developed the show, so we could create our own employment, employ others. That was something that I faced so many times. People see you and they say, well, hey, you don't look like you're incarcerated, but I'm sorry, I love your experience, but because of your background, I can't employ you.
Right.
So that's one of the major things I saw, and even with going and finding housing, because I have a background, they want to decide what area I should live in. They want to decide basically, you can't come in a good area, so we're going to set you somewhere for failure to where you can fall back into where you just came from. And so that's what we specialize in. We're here to, they will let us go in through the front door, so hey, we'll take the sunroof, we'll take the back door, we'll take the side door, but regardless, we're stepping in, we're stepping up, and we're stepping out, and we're defining those stigmas, and we're making a way to get where we need to be.
And we're going to go through it. We're going to know who is legal this time, y'all.
I'm ready to enter over here.
Yolanda?
Okay. Good afternoon.
Good
My
afternoon.
name is Yolanda Diamond. I was incarcerated for 20 years on a murder conviction for a vehicle accident. I was originally sentenced to 3 life sentences plus 100 years, so busted down, it was life plus 25. I'm here before you today. I have been free for 10 years.
Hey.
Published author of over 20 books.
Yes. All right.
And I'm also the founder and CEO of Diamonds Culture. I sell retail. And I'm also a castmate of the Queens of a reality show.
Woo!
What advice do you have for others, especially women that are coming home, trying to get their life back together? What advice would you give them?
The advice I would give anyone coming out and trying to steer the course is to stay focused. To stay focused and to not give into any circumstances. Believe in yourself and continue to strive.
All right.
Talk a little bit about your story. What does second chance mean to you personally?
So for me personally, second chances is an opportunity for us not to be defined by previous mistakes. And I'm gonna repeat that again. Second chances is another opportunity for us to not be defined by previous experiences. I know each and every one of us in this room has made decisions where someone has given us a second chance. And what we don't want to do is take that for granted. Because you may not be guaranteed a third time to do it again. And so for me, when you are given those opportunities, you need to write your laws, ask for forgiveness. Also, share your story because you just never know how that might impact other people in your lives. So that's my personal view of what second chances are all about.
My name is Herbert Pitts. I'm an ex-offender. I did 31 years. I was sentenced to life in 20, age of 19. Now I'm an operator. I'm on a truck service, Strawhead Enterprise. I'm just here today to support POD and all of the brothers that deserve that second chance.
Can you describe the moment when you were given your second chance and how did it impact you?
The moment I got my second chance, I actually got a letter from the parole board that they sent out. And you know, they gave me the 90-day letter. That letter was bittersweet for me because I knew at the end of the 90 days I would be transferred from one agency to another agency. I had a 30-year sentence in the federal system. And I'm here today because I got immediate release 2 months and 2 days after being released from Georgia. Foley, Florida. And the impact was the day that I walked out of that prison at 5:15. I knew then I had prepared for the life out here in this world that I had left for 31 years when I was 19 years old, and the responsibilities that I had faced. I said, I know I gotta grab it, run with it, and don't look back. So the impact was rough. But hey, I'm here today with the support of my family and my future wife right here.
Make sure you sit on the camera now. Yeah, you heard what it is.
And hey, I'm still rolling.
I want to build on that thought for a second. And I guess I'll start with April here. What do you believe is the misconception of formerly incarcerated? We'll talk about women first. What's the biggest misconception that society has?
Wow. Where do you start? So, first they think that we're all bad mothers. That's the first thing. You make a mistake, you went to prison, so hey, you're an awful mother. Not knowing that some of the decisions we made, we were forced to, or that we had to for the betterment of our children. We all make bad mistakes, we all make poor mistakes. But what I've seen is coming out that they assume because of your background, because of your incarceration, that you are a horrible mother and you have to fight the system to gain custody of your children. And you have to go through that battle. That's one of my major things that I know.
Did you have kids before you were incarcerated?
I did. When I went in, I had a 3-month-old son and a 3-year-old son. And I had just had my 22nd birthday. And that was the most difficult thing I have ever experienced. And so it was the same issue. You're a bad mother, or you didn't make the right decisions. And coming out, it's been even harder. I came out to grown men. And so I had to reestablish that relationship, and I'm still working on it right now today. So it's hard.
Right.
Yeah.
Derek, I want to kind of piggyback off of what I advocacy already said. What do you think for men, one of the biggest misconceptions that the public have about guys who are, are formerly incarcerated? Derek? Get back now, get back. I want to kind of piggyback off of that same question. What do you feel like is one of the biggest misconceptions for us men that have been formerly incarcerated from public schools?
Well, the number one thing, I think people tend to hold you to the same standards that they held you to prior to being incarcerated. They don't allow you to grow. Like, I was 18, I'm 50, so I'm totally a different person. My dreams, my goals, everything that I strive for is totally different. I'm sound mentally. The things that I want out of life is good, wholesome. Whereas when I was young, I didn't even know how to determine it. 18-year-old kid just trying to find his way through life. You don't know how to make sound decisions as a mature adult. So that's the number one thing. The second thing is, and this is a big thing, and I say this to all the females in this room, you have to understand that a man coming out of prison that was a teenager, that is now an adult, we still, as it concerns relationships, function as though we were 18 years old. And that is not to beat down us. And I say us that I'm part of this, but it is to make you aware of the fact that we need room to grow a little bit.
That's it.
And
That's
even
room to
though
grow.
we may commit in a relationship, just understand that we're still trying to find our way through to make sure that we're not doing wrong by you. Just imagine us jumping into a commitment, not even really being sure about what we want. That's not fair to you. So just leave room for that growth and be patient.
That's good.
We got that also on video for the week. Now, I want to, change directions just a little bit. And how would you begin to speak to someone who's struggling to forgive? For a person that's looking for a second chance, how would you? Because your perception on second chance is still parallel, but it gets there a different way. How would you come about to tell someone, hey, this is what forgiveness looks like for somebody that deserves a second chance?
So for me, my forgiveness journey started when I was just 9 years old. My father was unfortunately killed by nobody. And I remember growing up, I harbored a lot of feelings, anger, bitterness, and resentment towards the person that actually was responsible for his death. And it wasn't until roughly 20 years after he was killed that God placed it on my heart to forgive the woman that took his life. And on August 17, 2018, I had the opportunity to meet Deborah Trice for the first time at the Madison Correctional Facility in Indiana. And I was able to get a lot of my questions answered as far as the events that led up to my father being killed. And that gave me the closure that I needed. And so when I left that prison, it felt like 10 pounds had been lifted off of my shoulders. And I later realized it was all the anger, the bitterness, and resentment that I had carried for almost 20 years. So having the opportunity to meet her in 2018, she was actually released 2019, and she reconnected with me and my family. To this day, me and her still have an amazing relationship. And one of our biggest goals is to actually travel the world and share our powerful stories of forgiveness. So with going through my journey, it has drastically changed my view of second chances, because even though Deborah made a terrible decision back in 1998, I feel like it should not define the person who she is today. And that shouldn't prevent her from being able to make an impact on other people moving forward.
Absolutely.
And strong. She seems like she definitely gave a story of redemption. What does redemption look like for you when it comes to your second chance?
Redemption for me, my second chance. For so many years, I had to believe myself year after year after year. a choice to change. And I had to change from the mentality that I left the prison system with. I had to change and redeem myself to get back out into society. Tap on this world out here. So,
Do you feel like it's something that we have to earn over time, or?
yes, I feel like it, yeah. I feel like it, we do have to earn it now because I had to earn it. And I know I earned it when they gave me that letter saying that we have your redemption in yourself. We didn't decide to say, thank you, Rick. Go back out to society.
So, Gary, I want to ask you a question. On your journey to your second chance, was there any specific people, programs that pretty much elevated you to, because you're an entrepreneur now? What was one of your main points or people that helped you elevate your life on your journey to your second chance?
So, I'm gonna have to start from the beginning of it, when you asked about programs and things that I did. I never forget being in Hayes, 2003. I was transferred from Frankstown. I finished transfer. In fact, I was even there. And I got to Hayes, and a good friend of mine, Antonio Pitts, and everybody knows that's a good, he was there. And he wanted all us to get a dorm. So James Dawn, the commissioner at the time, just came on the front line and introduced the concept of faith and character. I wanted the program not to be a part of that program. I wanted the program to be a part of other Muslim brothers, because I'm Muslim. We would have opportunities to kind of be in close proximity to each other. Who would have known that I would have not only graduated the program, but went to other institutions to start the program. And I did that for almost 15 years. And I still do it. Like right now, I'm in the midst of trying to help build that concept. I say that to say this, that no matter whether you're inside or outside, it's all about the determination of what you want to do in life. If we thrust our energy into negativity, I guarantee you that's what you'll manifest. If you assert yourself in a positive way and put all your energy and your thoughts and your efforts into that, I guarantee you'll be like Chris Willis here trying to, about to receive a reward. So it's about choices. And once again, I say that as young people, we do what young people do. That's the grace that God gives us. We take that opportunity in your maturity to find out how to be mature. That's the approach of growth. But when you become an adult and you begin to mature, if you make decisions of immaturity, that's what you want, man. You just reap the reward of what you put out. That's just it.
That's good.
I want to kind of bring this back on full circle. Lamont, you spoke on your children being at a young age when you did it. How supportive have they been now that mom's home on, giving you that, I guess, that push to your second chance? How instrumental have they been to, your process?
Upon coming out, my both sons, they struggled for a minute to forgive me. They needed to understand everything because it was a lot told on their years. And even though I didn't get to see them some, it was still more detailed left. Since I have been out and able to talk with them a little bit more, my oldest son has been my biggest support. He pushes me through everything. My youngest son, not so much. But he's at a place now, I have been able to talk to him. He came to visit me actually for the first time and stayed with me maybe 3 days, just a couple of months ago. And he is 30 years old now, 39 years old. So that itself was transforming to know that now he can say, Mom, I love you.
It's amazing. That's good.
April, and you've done a lot of great things. What do you feel like your biggest support system thus far in achieving things that you have on your journey?
I would definitely say God number one. It's always my backbone. But my children, I have 4. My teenagers, they're twins, they're 14, and my oldest is 24 and 22. They support everything I do. They're like that. That song, Hype Me Up. They're my hype man. So you're in the car. tribe. And so those are my biggest supporters.
Amen.
Strong. We'll bring this back full circle. If he wasn't given a second chance, what would your life look like?
Being back in that system behind waking up every day, seeing fences all the barbed wires in this 8x10 cell, looking at that locker box, that all my personal, I have been my whole life in. It wouldn't be good, but I will continue to do what I did in the face of my last 7 years. Continue to try to uplift some of the guys coming there and just put out positivity.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'll be crying a whole lot more and just still praying and hoping for that second chance. Looking for that day to call my name.
Whitney, you, like you said in your story, you kind of see it from a different angle. What would you tell individuals that are victims of, any type of violence, gun violence? What would you tell those who are struggling with that redemption story of forgiveness, people that deserve second chance?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to first start by saying that I understand that we live in an unforgiving world where it's easier to hold grudges against people versus forgiving someone who has hurt and caused us so much pain. But just based off my personal experience, me getting over that anger, bitterness, and resentment is actually what restored my peace, joy, and purpose. And not only for me, but also for them. So for anybody who struggles with that forgiveness part of it, I just say, make that decision to start that journey and be intentional and give yourself grace, because throughout that process, you may have to relive some of those moments that caused you so much hurt and so much pain. But I guarantee you, once you get over that hump and all that anger, bitterness, and resentment goes away, it will also restore your peace, joy, and purpose. And so I just want to say, if I can do it, I forgave the unforgivable. So if I'm able to do it, I know that each and every one of you can too.
Before we open the floor for any questions that our audience have to the panelists, I'll be remiss to not say thank you, Mayor Goldman, for coming and celebrating with us today. Of course, Mr. Christopher Wilders, who are you? You were celebrating with the proclamation, so we want to thank you. So we're going to open up the floor before we give it to our speaker today, to any questions and answers that the audience may have. Don't be afraid now, y'all. Don't be afraid now, y'all. Any questions out there? Go ahead, Chris.
I got a question. And I want to say thank you to each and every one of you guys, not just for being here at the panel, but for all the work you guys are doing, representing the importance of second chance and different perspectives and all that. My question is, it's Second Chance Month. What do you say to the people directly? If I was somebody that said, you don't deserve a second chance, or the gentleman on that picture behind there on the wall don't deserve a second chance, what do you say to somebody that may have that totally opposite contrasting view? Anybody? Yes, sir.
Yeah, so my question to them will be, have you ever made a mistake in life? And if you feel like that mistake that you made didn't deserve a second chance, then why do you still pursue to get anything out of life? I mean, it's like contrasting. To say another person doesn't deserve an opportunity to become a better person and have an opportunity to, cultivate themselves and have a better life would be to say that you don't deserve that either.
That's it. Y'all. Let's go.
I see you sitting back in the chair. Say what you said.
Everybody started shooting on that like
Any other questions? Go ahead.
How everybody doing? I came in late, so I really don't have a question, but I just want to add to what's going on with positivity and how it's done. When I just came home, I did 17 years. And just to speak on my experience itself, you got to want to change. A person itself got to want to change. Because a lot of stuff that was implemented in the system, it's not there anymore. But while you wanted to change yourself, that shows growth for you. You know what I'm saying? No matter what you're facing. Because you're facing it every day. As we see, we all got social media we face, and we see what's going on in our world. So it's up to each individual, especially kids. Because if it's hard for men to do it, hard for kids and women, because they're the lesson of them. So we got to have strength of self to reach out to them, because the journey is not easy, especially if you're around a group of people that's deal for profession. Like my brother said, he want to get around a group of Muslims because they know what they level is, learn. So long as you're around people that learn, you can elevate. Some people don't have bonds or the structure for people to elevate and grow. Even coming in as a youth, I know some cats who came in juvie still in. So I was blessed by God. I can't say I did because I'm not just man, just like everybody else. But it's about a great power with the spirit to lead you through it. And by you can understand and see it, that's when you can look back. You can't really leave people behind. No matter the crime situation. Because we know every day, right, crime exists. Crime is going on right now. We can't stop it. But we can't help those by changing. The only way to know that they change is full heart from the heart and their mind, how to seek out help. Because without help, you got to find a way. So you got to dig from struggles and trenches. So I was talking to some brothers that brought in some pamphlet, y'all know. Because we know when you come up out of here, it's about financial, family, friends, support. And I learned this when I was in TC. It's dealing with trading on place. Trading, learn a skill set that's beneficial, not only for adults, for kids as well. So while you learn a skill set, which can help you when you come out. We also have programs as well that's there for you. Learning these things, you got to worry about that part. Because when you come out, $35. So when you have these things set up for you, it's a good 80% chance you won't go back. When you don't have nothing. I did 17, I came home, every corner I turned, there's somebody on the corner. They got these posters up, and need help and all that. Like, I don't know what happened. Then it was time frame out here. But I know there's nothing going on. You've been every corner, someone homeless. We need skill set that will help each other. You know, it ain't matter we coming out, we know what we done. You know what I'm saying, crime now. But when you come out and you see life, where it was when you left, right? You know it helped me all around. It's just so we had something to offer. I came to offer. Okay. This is my brother, they've been doing it for 10 years as well, more than that. So we heard about it, just come off, you know what I'm saying, support, we just want to teach them. That's what we grew up on. I just want to teach them.
I'm talking about you came, it's the P's, prioritizing, that's part of your change. You got to learn how to prioritize. Persistency and prepare. You came prepared.
Right.
Mayor has a question.
What the young man said just made me think. I've heard about programs being cut back. You know, now all kind of programs are being cut back. But what programs were in place on the inside or on the outside that are gone now that you feel really helped them? Or what are new programs that weren't there? You know, just as a policymaker, but also as citizens, you can advocate. Like what are the sort of programs and things that really made a difference, either on the inside or outside, that we need to bring back or bring more?
For me, it was the life group. That was a powerful, impactful it covered stability, it covered your goals, it covered getting trades, it covered family, it covered everything you could probably possibly think of. And what steps was necessary with the victims too to help you to help Annie overall. So the life is beautiful.
For me, I think I'm the most recent, I only been out 2 years. They didn't, so I don't know what it took, but took away. But when I was there, I took a class called Business Customer Service through Central Technical College. And that class, being that I had been there for 5 years, they gave us the refreshers on the computer. You know, when I came home, I didn't know how to use an iPhone. I didn't know how to do those things because things had changed. So taking that class, not only did it help me to develop my business plan of seeing the printables on the computer screen, but it also provided me with those computer skills and what was going on, what was up to date, the different phones, the different technology. So I was kind of more or less and more real prepared when I did step out in the technology, because now you have to know this technology. It's very hard to do an application without not being able to do it online, on your phone. And so those were things that I was glad that I did take up, because it kind of prepared me and helped me to get out here and know what was going on a lot of ways.
I'll jump in there. For me, myself, over my 16 years of incarceration, it was about being a dreamer. I started a program when I was in my 20s, maybe. In my 20s, called Young Men on the Same Path, where I was, it was located in the faith-based advocacy. And my counselor, I told my counselor, I want the worst. I want gang members, I want folks that just get out. I want the worst of the worst young men. And watch how positive influence can change a young man's life. And it did just that. So I think sometimes becoming a dreamer, there may not be programs that are installed now, not only behind the wall, but also in our community, but it's always being able to be innovative, always being able to be a dreamer, and creating that truth for yourself. So sometimes you have to do that.
Yeah, and speak to that, peace everybody. To speak to that, a lot of people aren't dreamers. They can't dream that far as something being productive. So I'm from New York. I was in New York prisons. They took out a lot of stuff like plumbing, electrical. They did have HVAC, but they started pulling that out of a lot of prisons too. So now people ain't coming home to no skill set. And the only way you get into like plumbing, electrical is if you're in a janitor unit, like if you're working for the facility and you're working through like a staff member. That's the only way you get to know that stuff. Outside of that, for me, it was technology because I was in school. The prison I was in, they had a school. It's called Bar Prison Initiative, and they had a computer room where we were able to download computer software. So because of that, that elevated to Photo Patch, to Unlock Academy, to Atlas 180. But we were able to do this because now we're familiar with technology. That was a skill. They don't have a lot of that stuff going on inside. You know what I'm saying? Where a lot of the population was able to go into the computer rooms. So they are the ones that possibly need that too. And it's only for a select amount of people. So stuff like that, like more technology, access, trades, because people gonna always need a car getting fixed. It's not enough of that. Cement, like how to do floors and stuff like that. All kind of hand stuff, you know, like labor stuff, but they didn't have a lot of that. That's why people in New York was turned up. They would go to the yard, it's turned up. Now the whole jail is shut down. You know, it got to the point where the officers was on strike for like almost a good month and a half because they couldn't control the population because they're not focused on anything else but what's happening now, you know, and speak to some of y'all that have been down for some time. There's people that's been down some time too that be trying to talk to the younger youth, but the youth that's coming in now on this K2 stuff changed. You know what I'm saying? They ain't listening. They burped already. You know, so I just want to share that.
Before we get to our next question here, I want to also say POD. POD is very effective in the prison system also.
One Way Youth Foundation also, are very effective in building men up behind the wall, where we do get on phone calls, when we do get on conference calls, we do connect with our incarcerated brothers, so we can build, and it starts, in that space. And I think POD is definitely a great resource that we use to bridge that gap between not only society and the men, but also between the men and our state officials, our road boards, our DOCs. So we're going to continue to elevate POD and continue to push it through Department of Corrections, so we can continue to build kings and queens. King come out. We'll talk about that.
Hey, this is Antoine Rivers with the Conviction Fiction Podcast. I know a lot of you members up in here. And it's just a question that piggybacks off of the Dreamers and some of the stuff that my man was saying about programs, and even the mayor, he was speaking about like what worked, what didn't work. So for the leaders in here, there's no particular person I'm looking for to answer this question, but if you can envision the next 5 years progress for communities like ours, what would that vision look like?
Go ahead, Derek.
So as we see, just by virtue of you all being in the room, because you can have the kids, right? You don't have to be here. Like you could take the same path that most people in society take, and they make mistakes, that's something they need to figure out. That's not your stance. So we need to do the same thing for the kids, because that's our future, our youth. Look, I'm 50, I'm over the hump, as they say. But whatever experiences we have in life, we need to take what we have in our vessel and pour it back into our youth. Because right now we're felon. Just like the brother was talking about the men on K2. Just that element itself is called Department of Corrections to build a war zone. Like we had, 230 people in the last 2 months to die, and nobody cares. Nobody seems to be making noise about this. We're supposed to be downtown at the Capitol saying, hold up, these are human beings. Who's going to stand up for these guys? As a matter of fact, let's get a little deeper. Let's talk about all the murders that are happening in our own neighborhoods without youth. Right. Because we got rappers out here making money off of their demise. They selling them and sending them the wrong message. They're not telling them to grow and develop, to be good, decent people, so they may be able to live a prosperous life. They tell them to die, and they're fighting, and nobody's doing nothing.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Different approach to that question. I think it starts with partnerships. First and foremost, the Life Unit, great partner to the community. These partnerships expand how many people you can reach, how many people you can touch. So I think it starts with partnerships and actually knowing your community, grassroots, getting out on the ground, talking to people. That's where second chances and these conversations come from. That's why we do have these conversations. That's why we are celebrating Chris, because he has put in the work, the effort. Every day, tired. Every time I call him, he's somewhere else. I think he was in New Zealand last week or something. I don't even know, but he travels, and this is what he does. He opens up doors for others that we wouldn't generally be able to step through. Calling Chris and saying, hey, he said, man, I might have a conference in New York or California that I may have you to speak. I'm like, man, okay, let's go and open up these doors that we would normally not be able to walk through. So, and that's not just our only partnership that we have. We all partner with each other. That's why we're here today. Partnering with each other to try to gain that access to a better community. That answers your question. We're gonna cut this a little short so we can be with time constraints. But go ahead, brother.
Just to iterate what you said about where this would be for the group and everything. We all highlight. Like the brother said, he wants the roughest of the roughest to come out of his life. From the darkness, I like shine. So we know if we illuminate the light, no matter where we go, we come home. Because what? It's raining. They don't got nothing
lot of voids going on. So when you feel that voids up, you have to feel it. And that's positivity. Positivity gonna override negative energy every time. That's love. Positive is love. Let's break it down. Love conquers everything. When we have love, everybody can have love. No matter what the situation is, love is gonna conquer everything. As long as we have love for it, it's gonna grow. No matter what we do, it's gonna grow. Cause I write books. Everywhere I went, if you do what I'm doing, that's what you're doing. Do this, start it. You know what's going on? I got 5 books, I got this because of that way. So we got like people. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about if they receive it or not. You gotta let it shine. Get it.
Okay, if you're not building, you destroy. You're up next. You got a presentation?
Yeah, I just wanted to say something about the partnerships. I did want to piggyback on what you said about partnerships because that is very monumental to our success in making things check in this community. We all have different, things that we're good at. And it's like the game of Monopoly that we used to play when we were younger. Everybody wanted to get the word ball, lock that down. That's the place to go. But the thing is, we need each corner. We have the live music, we have pod, we have the funerals. We're on the entertainment spectrum, but at the same time, the base of our thing is entrepreneurship.
Yes.
And what we're doing is we're building bosses, we're building leaders. And once everybody come together and connect, you have someone that can fix or help in any situation. And those partnerships become very monumental to our success. And so that's the biggest thing about networking. And being out here with boots on the ground, those partnerships really mean a lot. And so that's just something I just wanted to mention because I feel like everybody should just really focus on that. Getting those partnerships and junior partnerships, getting those networking, those things to bring everybody together so that when you can't help someone, I can't help you, but guess what? I know somebody who can.
Mm-hmm.
I can't help your son, but guess what? I got him a lot.
Right.
They can lead them in the right direction. Hey, I got somebody, they trying to build, they coming out, and look, there's a woman, they got good skills, and they want to show, they want to help you, they want to build their business. Hey, someone over the Queen in a couple of months, some to the Kingdoms too, we got you. Because the thing is, basically what we're doing that is we're covering all the bases. They can't attack our culture, they can't attack our children if we're strong from the foundation. And partnerships bring the foundation, they make it stronger. And so it's something I just want everybody to think about. Let's get those partnerships and get that foundation.
We're gonna take one more question. And he said somebody has to take ball to.
I just want to first thank all of you for being here, for honoring Chris, and just letting you know, for a mother who has a son who's been in it for 26 years, this gives us hope. That's my son. And I just feel because you get to a place sometimes where the door seems like it's going to open and it closes. And go there again and the door closes. And after a while you start thinking, I can't go down that road again. I can't open myself up to that hope again. But seeing you here and you're out and you're succeeding, it gives me another day of hope. I know what he's doing with Pop, but the parole board doesn't seem to know what he's doing with Pop. That door keeps closing. So I come here to support anything I can support with POD or any other organization because it gives me hope. Those 26 years that he's been serving, I've been serving those.
Yeah.
When he took the sentence, the judge said, this is his sentence. That's not true. The family serves that sentence for 26 years. I've been serving that sentence. Not talking to people, not letting them know where my son is, not making tell people I have 2 children, not just one. So many years, I've been in the school system. You don't just announce that your child is in prison. So I've been working on getting myself together, preparing myself for when he comes home, what meal he's going to have, how I'm going to do. But it's been a long road. And I just want to thank all of you for helping me. These kinds of events help me to keep going. It helps me to help other people know what it is to be a mother that has a child there. I lost my husband. I lost my parents. All these things that you experience are part of your growth. But these kind of events really help me to still have hope. So I thank you for sharing your stories. Because I know that without that, it's hard for me. So I just thank you.
I want to, if we're going to give a presentation, but I just want to encourage you that the Grover does know what's going on, and I promise you that. So just takes time and patience, and we're further than we was yesterday, and we're definitely going to see some great outcomes, especially with those guys that are on the program.
All right.
All right, so good afternoon, everybody. For those of you who don't know, my name is April Hall. And I'm honored to be here today to stand before you guys. And I just wanted to tell you a little bit about what second chances mean to me. Because we are bringing this month to a close. We deserve way more than a month. We'll take what we got. Okay, so basically, to me, second chances are not just opportunities. They're life's way of whispering. You are not your mistakes. You are not your mistakes, but you are your potential. Second chances represent redemption, resilience, and the undeniable truth that no matter what has tried to break us, we still have the power to rebuild, to rise, and to redefine our stories. Today, I'm proud to introduce to you 3 incredible men who are currently still incarcerated, but who have not allowed their circumstances to define them. Despite the walls around them, they have created movements, led by example, stayed out of trouble, and continue to do great things. They have shown growth, leadership, and transformation in ways that inspire all of us. They are living proof that redemption is real, and that sometimes all it takes is someone willing to believe in them. It is my hope that someone out here, someone in here, listening today, will see what I see. 3 men deserving of a second chance. The same second chance that every one of us would hope for and that we all deserve. So if y'all will allow me to introduce those 3 gentlemen. First, we have Adam Upperman. Adam embodies the story of transformation and hope. Adam has spent 26 years behind bars, but his journey is not defined by incarceration. It's defined by transformation. Once a young man lost in a cycle of crime, Adam has become a living example of redemption and the power of second chances. As co-founder of Positive Outreach Development, Adam is committed to helping others break the same destructive cycles he once knew. Through mentorship, education, and purpose-driven programs, he works daily to prepare incarcerated individuals for meaningful lives beyond the prison walls. His dedication to uplifting others, especially the youth, shows that growth is possible, even in the darkest places. Adam's life now serves as both a warning and a promise that poor choices can cost you everything, but the right ones can rebuild it all. His second chance doesn't just speak to change. It proves that hope lives, and all things are possible with commitment and belief. Secondly,
Can I stop real quick? That's Adam's mom right there. I don't want to point out.
The second young man is Courtney Smith. Courtney Smith is a high school graduate and dedicated individual who has spent the past 22 years incarcerated for a crime committed in 1997. Despite the challenges, Courtney has utilized his time to focus on personal growth and rehabilitation. Key accomplishments include completing the Georgia Department of Corrections rehabilitation case plan that they have for him, and participating in on-the-job training classes in vocational trades, completing Pathfinder, the peer mentor certification courses. He has active participation in the statewide Lifers Group and current involvement in faith and character-based programs. He is also serving as a mentor within the state prison system. He participates in the Victim Offender Dialogue, known as VOD, with the Georgia Court and Parole Board. He is also a co-founder of Pod Society, which is a nonprofit organization focused on providing positive, meaningful resources and opportunities to returning citizens. experiences, Courtney has demonstrated a commitment to rehabilitation, personal development, and community contribution. As a co-founder of High Society, Courtney is dedicated to making a positive impact and prompting growth and development in others. These are just a few of many highlights of Courtney's journey towards growth, self-improvement, and preparation for successful re-entry into our society. Now, last but not least, we have Geraldo Raheem Victor. Raheem is at just 21 years old, was convicted as a party to a crime of aggravated assault. At that time, he was a student at Clark Atlanta University with dreams of becoming a successful business mogul. Those dreams were abruptly derailed, not by his own actions, but by a single life-altering decision, the choice of poor association. He was sentenced to 30 years with 20 to be served in prison. Raheem embarked on a journey of deep personal transformation. What began as a punishment became a mission, one not centered on him, but on serving others through moral and spiritual guidance. He learned that real success comes not from personal gain, but from empowering others and living in a way that is pleasing to God. Through this transformation, Raheem co-founded movements like POD, grounded in the vision of creating positive change. Even in the most difficult circumstances, his story is one of redemption, purpose, and service. As we honor Second Chance Awareness Month, Raheem wants the world to know he is not advocating for a second chance for himself. He is advocating for the second chances of his brothers who remain in need. He is committed to becoming the change, what change looks like, and to advancing the movement of hope and restoration and justice. Thank you, everybody.
As you hear these stories about these fascinating young, old men, I just don't call them friends, these are my brothers. And it's very important to you know, kind of, I wouldn't say talk about, but we are making advances with the parole system. We're making big advances where we're bridging that gap between POD and the parole board. So we are doing some fascinating things with the parole board. They definitely know about POD. And this time next year, I'm pretty guaranteed you'll see all three of those guys out. So they can take a load off me. So I can go on vacation a little bit.
Okay.
Still is calling. But you know, this is where it starts. And I want to thank, you know, these individuals, not only these three, but also True, with One Way Foundation, that I have not only done time with, but have labored with numerous hours on planning and particulars of day-to-day operations of POD. Not to belabor you anymore, so I'm about to preach tomorrow. I'm preach tomorrow, y'all. I'm not sure. But not to belabor y'all, but I want to now welcome our mayor who's delivering this proclamation for a guy that needs to be celebrated, deserves to be celebrated, and honored, and cherished, and he's giving his flowers today. Mayor Kobe.
You know, so you may have heard, I've been spending a lot of time and I've really transformed by that. So before you go any further, I just wanted if people just bow our heads and, you know, take a posture of prayer and meditation, whatever you believe, and send some positive energy to these three men that we just heard about, and everyone that is behind the wall. We celebrate your release in advance. So this is a, as has been said, my name is Kobe. For those of you who do not know, I am the mayor of the city of South Fulton. If you've never been to South Fulton, if you're driving around 285 from Cascade all the way around the Old Nap, once you get outside the perimeter and the traffic clears up, you're in the city of South Fulton. We are nearly 100 square miles, and with a population that is 93% American Africans. We are the blackest city in America. I'm so proud to be mayor of this place. I started out as a councilman. I was one of the founding members of council, and I can't talk about today without first just giving props to my brother, Dr. Mark Baker. We came in on council together, and our city was formed in 2017. Our 8th anniversary was Thursday. Come out to Southwest Arts Center if you like. We started having conversations, Dr. Baker and I, we were the two brothers of council, and we were talking about how all of these victims of the drug war and the 1994 crime bill would be coming home. 30 years was going to be up in 2024. And as the blackest city in America, we knew that a lot of them would be coming home to our communities. And so Dr. Baker, with the support of most of our council, we passed ban the box legislation in our city so that people can apply for any job in the city regardless of what they've been through. And I can tell you that's a big thing. A couple of years, talking about myself a little bit, you know, so I've done a lot of police accountability. And 2 years ago, while investigating a blighted property in my city, I was arrested by my police and charged with felony burglary. I have not had a case. I've not been indicted. I haven't had a court case. I'm working hopefully with the district attorney. Got a call about getting dismissed. But for the past 2 years, I have been turned down for apartments. I've been turned down for jobs. And I haven't been convicted of anything. I haven't even had a trial. So that really made it personal for me, the kind of obstacles that people are facing when we're talking about impeachment. So when I met Chris, I think maybe a couple months ago, maybe last year during the elections, and heard the work that he and the Life Unit were doing, I thought it just fitting to honor you're really doing God's work, helping our people when they do. So I'm going to read this proclamation. You come stand. Proclamation about Whereas the city of South Fulton, Georgia acknowledges Christopher Lewis and the Life Unit for their contributions to uplifting our people across the diaspora. And whereas each April, the U.S. Department of Justice's Office of Justice Program celebrates Second Chance Month to recognize the importance of helping individuals, communities, and agencies across the country appreciate their role in supporting the safe and successful reentry of millions of people returning from incarceration. Whereas at a young age of 19, Christopher Lewis was sentenced to 144 years in prison, serving 17 years, 3 months, and 2 days of which were in 17 years, 3 months, we gotta fix that. 2 months of which were in solitary confinement. 3 years and 2 months. Oh, that is right. Serving 17 years. 3 years and 2 months of which were in solitary confinement. Oh my God. And Willis turned his pain to purpose by dedicating his time to effectively changing the lives of men around him, becoming a senior elder, implementing re-entry classes, coordinating programs, and starting a nonprofit to aid peers in transition. And whereas Christopher transcended his circumstances to become a well-known mindset and resilience coach, whose clients range from men and women re-entering society after incarceration to corporate CEOs, and founded the Life Unit, a nonprofit 501c3 organized to educate and empower released inmates and their families with the tools they need to reintegrate into society. And whereas Christopher Willis
facilitates a plethora of resources helpful for any gender, age, or race, such as coping skills, effective communication, conflict resolution, financial literacy, home buying 101, how to be a successful entrepreneur, and social skills development, to name a few. Whereas Christopher Willis is the product of a second chance, promotes the importance of second chances and how to stay free. Christopher Willis' story is a testament to redemption and the product of resilience, as he not only discovered his own strength, but continues to help countless individuals discover their strength too. Now therefore be it resolved that the mayor and the city council of the city of South Fulton do hereby proclaim Monday, June 23rd, 2025, as Christopher Willis and Life Unit Day, and April as Second Chance Awareness Month in the city of South.
Like unit.
Whoop, whoop.
I'm gonna try to be short, but the panel got me fired up. First and foremost, not here to tell anybody about what path they should take, but I have to give honor to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen. That's who sustains me. I can tell you just last week I received a death threat. It happens often in the work that I do. I wake up every day with intention before the sun does when I can. I called my godparents back there. I was just laying on the bed back there where they had to nurse me back to health because I've been paralyzed on the left side of my body. That was after my house burned down, January 23rd. This isn't a boo-boo contest, though. This is just telling you what is sustaining you. And not just sustaining you, but allowing you to move forward, especially in a season like this. I want to thank the mayor for honoring me right now. And more importantly, just the work, those that are connected to me. Through social media, just last month I reached over 42 million people globally. And it's kind of funny because people would think I'm just a social media guy. And sometimes when I bring that number in the rooms, people look bad. They don't like it. But I love it. The book that I read speaks about the enemy taking control of the airwaves. We speak about the youth. I'm fortunate enough that I created a character and I also lecture and teach and travel. I can go into most neighborhoods in most states with the people most people call YNs. I'm in a unique position right now where the youth are listening. I'm grateful for that. I want to thank my mother, who I remember being a 19-year-old, scared, but telling my mother I had to turn myself in. And my last act of physical freedom was being handcuffed and my mother screaming just to hug me while the detectives called me away. And as a son, I can tell you there's no worse feeling than knowing that you've caused pain and you can't console your own mother. I am my mother's son. Anybody knows me knows. So I'm glad all these years later into Adam's mother, anybody else's, mamas, aunties, sisters, whoever, daughters in the room right now that are impacted, I'm here to tell you that we're fighting to come home. And many of us are with good intention, the righteous pathway. Like we're really doing the work, and that's what today is about. To my wife. My wife married me while I was still incarcerated. I had nothing but my words. Everything I said to her, I meant. But Mr. Warner hit it right on the head. She had to give me some grace. Some areas, don't get carried away. All right, it's not like that. But there's something about my wife and her grace and her prayers that sustain me. We've been through hell. I got my brothers in here, they know. Some of y'all know behind the scenes. It looks so fun when we on social media. It looks up up there, I'm making people laugh. But if only y'all knew. The benefit of a second chance for me, and what that means to me is, it means that at age 19, in 2003, I was given 144 years in prison because I got in the car one night and I drove my cousin up the street he robbed the place with a BB gun. I never touched the gun. I sat in the car. I never went into the place. Didn't know nothing about it. On top of that, I was United States Air Force active duty. I'm pretty smart too as far as books. I got a 4.0 GPA. I will not tell you the story that I came up the hard way. I'll tell you the story that I'm a kid that made a wrong mistake for 30 seconds. And it put me in a situation where I had to fight for my life. I got good at prison not because I wanted to, but because I wanted to survive, and I wanted my brothers to be able to survive too. It is horrible what goes on behind those walls. So every day, every opportunity I get, I lend voice and I tell a story that needs to be told. I walk into any room, I don't really care. Not this room, I love it. But I walk into many rooms and I do not care because I'm so focused on God, my family, and my brothers. I got on the internet, I did a post to my brother Jefferson Ellie, Poetic Life of Law. I want to definitely shout him out with the rest of my brothers. Poetic Life of Law is the reason I got on the internet. I did a post to speak about him and trying to get him home. And we got over 180,000 signatures in support of his release. And that's what kind of catapulted me into telling my story. Definitely want to salute my pod brothers, who nobody in Georgia gave me a chance, y'all. I was running around here, I was telling squats, Father, I'm trying to get involved, do it. Nobody, because I'm not from Georgia, but I am from Georgia now. This is my home. I'm here now. But these brothers who were behind the wall opened doors for me. They opened the doors in the community. They got me doing events and all that. And that was before the internet took off. Right? Before, now everybody want to call me, come on, brother. But I'll never forget these brothers and their vision and their work and their contribution and what they're doing. Despite it all, Georgia Department of Corrections has the most homicides out of any Department of Corrections in the country right now in just 4 months. So if anybody got to ask why I wake up every day, despite what I feel, is because the graveyards and the prisons do not take a day off. And I won't either. I have aspirations, but I don't really have aspirations. As I told my mentor this morning, I have goals that will be accomplished. You'll see me elevate in different positions of leadership, being led by God first. So I don't want to declare it. I want to see where He leads me. But just in the next, 6 months, I'm traveling to 8 different cities to do some work. In the last 12 months, been multiple states and cities, collecting data, connecting the dots, learning about the people that are on the ground that are fighting for their loved ones to come home. So, to close I don't want to keep going too long. The panel said it all. I wanted this with a call to action. My call to action, if anybody's seen my stuff on social media, is stay free. That's a call to action. And stay free doesn't mean just from incarceration. If anybody knows the premise and the whole foundation of the Life Unit and why I interact with people and how, we're focused on liberation. You can do that 3 ways, that's it. I believe that. Mentally, physically, financially. Spiritually, that's between you and God. I'm talking about how we can interact with people. And we focus on that. The prevention part, we're going into a meeting Tuesday to potentially open up a second school. I've only been home for 5.5 years, and we're ready to open up potentially a second school geared towards disrupting the school-to-prison pipeline. If you live in Georgia, I need y'all to know this. It's the hardest city out the entire country to get out of the poverty gap, and the percentage of incarceration is increasing. They just passed the budget for a $436 million prison in Georgia to go along with an 88-acre cop city. So you tell me where we're at. We're in a time right now where they're pulling funding and resources. Organizations can't survive because the resources are drying up. People got to pay their bill. So for any of you that are going to stick into the fight, Life Unit's here. Pod is here. You tired? I'm tired. Look over here. I'm going to look at you. We're going to keep going.
That's right.
That's what we're going to do. This is not the time to sit down. I'm tired. Them brothers is tired. They may not say it when they pick up the phone. They're exhausted. But yet they're doing the work. So, if you're not doing the work, which I know y'all know, if anybody watching this on lives or anything, I challenge you to start doing the work. If you don't know how to do the work, connect with an organization. We have dynamic, powerful speakers up here. We have different organizations. It's not just about us. There are all these different things. If you don't know where to go, connect with us. Start networking. We're only as strong as our community. And they're attacking us, y'all. Like, it's happening right now. in real time. So, I'm grateful for my opportunity to speak. I'm grateful for my second chance. I'm grateful to get up here and run my mouth a little bit because what I should have said, I'm not even supposed to be here now. It was not a guarantee. So y'all keep fighting forward. You know, stay focused on each other because it's really ugly on the outside right now. But it's real beautiful in here right now. There's power in here. And we can come together and get some more things done and get some more people home. I want to say thank y'all again to each and every one of you. My mom needs some water. Somebody get my mom the water.
Come on with the water, man.
I'm about to run over there and get my mom the water, y'all.
You can't keep the water back there.
Yeah, but thank y'all so much, man, and peace, love, and blessings, man. I'm about to bring my big. He pulled me out the room earlier. He seen me sweating and everything, man. He did a great job. Let's get the panelist. I'm about to put this on all the IG, Facebook.
We need pics with all of y'all. Pics.
I done played a whole lot of basketball in my life, man. I ain't never received nothing that big. Celebrate me, man.
Sleep like this.
I want to thank, of course, our panelists in closing.
Yeah.
We appreciate the insight, we appreciate y'all patience, answering questions, and being vulnerable to individuals you may or may not know. That's very, very important. We thank you guys. We thank the audience today for being attentive.
Yes. Thank you.
After this interview, we still held it down. We're like an old black church or something.
It was great event. Thank you all for tuning
In
in.
closing, man, I want to remind